Okay, so this is exciting. I am ready to go. We are going to talk about a few important words today, and they're not always important, but they're super important right now. And actually, we are going to talk about. I'm going to go back here. My bad. Wrong. They're super important right now. Oh, I think you're getting feedback. Hold on a second. I'm going to go back here. My bad. Wrong. There we go. So, sorry about that. You were getting feedback from another monitor, and we're going to talk about World Cup words today, and this is going to be a whole series for you. And today, the top 10 words are related all to match structure. And the reason I want to do this together live is A, it's more fun, and then B, we're going to be able to, talk about things live. So if you're able to participate, throw something in the chat box. If you hear a sound and you're like, oh, I don't have that in my language, can we review that sound for a little bit longer? Or, hey, that makes me think of this, or I have this other word, are they the same? Put it in the chat box. That's why I'm here live, helping to coach you, like coach you to be a champion. So the idea is World Cup. We can use this anytime for any soccer or football matches, whatever you prefer to call it. So let's talk about the top 10 words that are related to match structure. But first, I want to really talk about my method for teaching, so you understand kind of why I'm doing things in the order that I'm doing them and why I choose those things to be most important, right? So we call it the SVC method. This is for pronunciation. We've got pronunciation. In accent, we've also got prosody. Prosody is the music behind the language. And I have to tell you, the first thing is kind of on the fence. So, SVC. It's not what you might have heard in language where it's like subject, verb. What would this be? Complement, I guess. But no, it's not about that. It's strictly about pronunciation. So let's look at the first one, which I said is kind of on the fence, right? So, number one, syllables. Syllables are, okay, a syllable is like a vowel in the middle and then maybe some consonants around it, maybe. And syllables are defined differently in different languages. But vowels, syllables are the music behind what we're talking about. So if I can get my syllables right first, number one, I can follow other people easier or more easily, and also I can be understood more easily. So if I focus on syllables first, that's, I think, the best way that's going to make you always sound better. It doesn't matter what kind of vocabulary you're talking about, right? So now let's talk about the next one, SVC. First of all, though, for syllables, we need to know, well, how many are there, right? Which one has stress? Everything doesn't always have primary, secondary, or no stress, right? Sometimes it depends on, the change might be from what is the noun and then I'm saying the verb, right? Or like project and project. So I really want to pay attention to the syllables first, not necessarily the sounds. After I've got that down, then I can talk about the vocabulary. The vowels. And the vowels are super, super key to English all the time. We only write 5 vowels, but we say over 20 vowels, and it's really important to hear the distinction. And what my goal is at the end, and hopefully you can then hear it later, is the actual articulation. So how do you hear how somebody's holding their mouth? Well, I can tell you there's 3 things for vowels. Number 1, their jaw. Number 2, their tongue. And then number 3, their lips, right? So I want to get used to saying, oh, what does it sound like if I do the same thing, but my jaw is a bit more open, for example? Because we know that in English, the spelling is not your friend. And so there's always these little tricks, but that we can work that to our advantage because sometimes we can see some tricks and say, oh, I think it's more likely this. I can kind of decode the spelling if I know both of those things in common. And by stressed, I don't mean you. I mean, is it a stressed vowel because it's in a stressed syllable? If that's true, how does it change how it sounds? So SVC, last one, of course you can probably guess by now, it's going to be our friend the consonants. So consonants, of course, are probably surprisingly easier than the vowels in most languages. So I want you to pay attention to where is the consonant? Is it the beginning, the middle, or the end? Also, where in terms of where in my mouth am I creating, or throat possibly, where am I creating the consonant sound? And with my tongue, possibly something else. Also the airflow. What am I doing with that air for consonants? Am I stopping the air? Am I creating friction with the air? Is it going out my nose? Is it going out my mouth? How is the airflow? And the last important thing for consonants is what we call voicing. So right here, if your vocal folds are vibrating, then that's voiced, and if they're not, then it's unvoiced, and that's a feature of consonants that most people don't pay attention to. Then, inside of words, this is true all the time, right? This is a method. This is not just for today. Is it a single consonant, or is it in a cluster of consonants? Because that's going to be a little bit more difficult. And is it a cluster within a word, or is it a cluster that results of connected speech? Like maybe I had one consonant at the end and another at the beginning, and when I'm trying to kind of like connect my speech, it falls apart because of those consonant clusters newly formed. Right? So this is the method, the SVC method. This is what I want you to use anytime. If you look it up in a dictionary, if you're listening to a movie, whatever. That's the order that I want you to follow and why. So, syllables, vowels, consonants, SVC. Now, my mantra is slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So everybody wants to speak quickly. Most people, I should say. Most people want to speak quickly. Me too, in my other languages. And nothing wrong with that. But to achieve that, we want to go slowly at first so you can really pay attention to the articulation. Make that articulation really smooth. And then when it's smooth, you can go as fast as you want. So let's take a look at the first word for the day, right? This is one syllable. So it's, oh, sorry. Let's go over the word first. It's this in a symbol form. If you haven't seen this, it's called IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet. You can see the word on the top here, and then you can see down here it's got that symbol, and then I've got an example, right? So I'm sure these are things that you would say. But SVC, number one syllable, right? What is the vowel in there? It's the sound, right? I want my tongue in the front. I want my jaw wide open. But SVC, number one syllable, right? What is the vowel in there? Cat, hat, match. I want my tongue in the front. Now my consonants are interesting. I've got two. One is a nasal sound. That M needs the air coming out of your nose, and your lips are closed. Now, my consonants are interesting. I've got two. One is a nasal. This next one is one of my favorites. It looks like a combination, and it kind of is. It's called an affricate, and that means it's a sound that I stop, and then I let the friction take over. So it's kind of is. It's called an affricate, and that means it's a sound that I stop, and then I let the friction take over. So it's match, 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 match. Those are all the features. Match, 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 match. Go as fast as you can once you're smooth. Second one. See that same vowel there? How nice. And I see an extra letter that doesn't seem to be in the pronunciation guide. So there we go. One syllable as well. And it's the ah. Again, ah. Your jaw cannot be too wide open. So keep it going. There we go. One syllable as well. This is one of those sounds that if you do it well, it just sounds really good. So, we had match. Now we have half. Same exact thing. Match, half. Now, I've got an H sound. Stop and think about that for a second, because they can vary among languages. Now, I'm just letting out the air with the lightest bit of friction. And where does that friction occur? Way in the back. I'm just letting out the air with the barely lifting the back of the tongue to create just slowing down that air right there. If you lift your tongue too much, it's going to sound too harsh to our ears, and it's maybe not the kind of H that we have, even if it is in your first language. The other one of my favorites also, because a lot of languages, when they speak in English, or a lot of people coming from other languages, when they speak in English, F is a surprisingly difficult sound for them. What is it really? What's going on? It's the friction at the bottom of my teeth, right? And I should say the bottom of my top teeth and the top of my bottom lip. Right? And coming together. The bottom of my top teeth. In some languages you put your two lips together. In some languages they don't have F's, so they maybe do P's instead. And some places they voice it. But not for us. That would be a V sound. That's not what I want. It's unvoiced. So P's instead. Some places they voice it, so but not for us. That would be a V sound. Half. That's not what I want. It's unvoiced. Half. So what's up with that L? Completely silent. Completely silent. Did they used to say it in the past? Yeah, but not anymore. So half, half, half. So what's up with that L? All right, looking good. Completely silent. Completely silent. Did they used to say what's the deal with this comma? And what's the deal with these little kind of hash marks, we call them? What's going on with this? Okay. It's a popular word, so we need to break it down. It's kind of an outlier, let's say, in terms of its stress. So what I mean is it's got two syllables, and usually when we have two syllables in a word, it's either the first or the second that's stressed. But not in this one. In this one, we've got the first one as what we call primary stress. You can see that little upper tick. And then the second syllable or word in this case is usually zero stress. So it's like da da. And then that's usually how it goes, right? But this one, no, this one is da da, da da. So we have what we call secondary stress. And when I mark that, it's got that little hash mark on the underside here, right? So we've got one strange thing going on already. You might be able to guess why that is. It's because it's made of two separate words, so it's a compound word, right? Like bed and room, or break and fast, right? It's over time it became one word. It's a compound word now. And sometimes that stress pattern of primary and secondary goes away after a while, and sometimes it sticks around. So we don't always know. The dictionary is your best bet. So we've got something interesting here, and I'm gonna talk about this vowel sound because that's what it's trying to tell me. There's a little dash here, and it's saying that, hey, I can do this word in this way, or I can just change that end part and keep the first part the same. So I've got two different vowels here, right? I've got the aw, as in fought, aw, kick off, kick off, kick off, kick off. We'll come back to that short I in a second. Or I can open my jaw even more and say ah, 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 kick off, kick off, kick off. So I want to explain what that means when there's a comma there and there's a difference. So it means the dash says keep it the same, and here's the changed part, right? So let's go back. We've got aw, my tongue is in the back, aw, 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 or ah, 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 my tongue is in the back. You notice my jaw is just wider. And then for the kick part, that vowel is what we call short I. So my tongue is going to be in the front, and my lips are going to be relaxed. And then for the look how small my jaw is. That vowel is what we call short I. So my tongue is going to be in the front, kick off, whichever one you like. And then for our consonants, we've got a K, right? And it happens twice, but it's the same sound. My K is what? The back of my tongue, in the back of almost my throat. That's on my velum, that soft palate. It happens twice, but it's the same sound. My K is what? That's why we call it a stop sound. In the back of almost my throat. That's on my velum, that soft palate. Happens twice, but it's the same sound. Kick. And then I have my vowel, and then my F again, which we already know. Kick. 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 Off. Kick off. Kick off. Or kick off, if you prefer. I usually do the first one personally. Next one. See that little dash there? Same thing. Look, we've got that same weird thing you don't usually see outside unless it's a compound noun. We've got the word half, and we've got the word time. And now we've got not half-time, no, half-time. I'm only going to go down just a step because it's secondary stress here. Right? Here we go. So we got two syllables because it's two words put together. We've done our ah before. We know our H is in the back. We know our F. Here we go. We haven't done the T. We haven't done these vowels yet, but we have done the M. It's a nasal sound. So we've got a lot of these already done. Look at the first thing, though. Here's what's interesting. We've done this A before. We've done this A before. We've got but now we see that some people, for this combination, they put their tongue in the back, like box, like we said before. We've got half. But now we see that some people, for this combination, they put their tongue in the back. Half. You could do either. Half-time, half-time, whichever you prefer. And now the other vowel that we're missing is actually a combination of two, right? And I'm going to start with my tongue in the middle, right in the middle, not not no, right in the middle, and then I'm going to move forward to that short I, so it's I. Feel your tongue kind of just pushing forward a little bit. Half time. Just before that, we've got the T. And one really common place we haven't talked about today is where I articulate right on the bump behind my front teeth. So it's a stop sound. I'm going to release it and explode. Right on the bump. Half time. Looking good. And I didn't actually always know the difference between these two. There was halftime between the sides, let's call it the two sides of the match, and then full time. So we've got time is going to remain the same. Forward I, out the nose M, time. And then look, we've got our F, we've already done it. Out the nose M. Here's an interesting vowel. Love it. A lot of people get it wrong. It's what we call short U or horseshoe because it looks like a horseshoe. So think of the ooh as in boot. Ooh, my lips are rounded, not with this one. Ooh. Think of the double O as in book. As in boot. My lips are relaxed here, right? Not rounded. My tongue is in the back, and my jaw is slightly more open. So, my lips are relaxed here, full. Right? Not rounded. If I said it with ooh, it would sound like fool, which is not what I want here. Full time, no. Full time. How interesting. Oh man. Sorry. Which is not what I want. I have an eyelash in my eyeball. How interesting. Did you notice, right? We didn't even talk about these syllables yet. There are two syllables. It's also a compound word. Much more rare that we've got two primary syllables here, right? So you might have heard how I said it, but I didn't say it explicitly. It's full time. Both words are up here. Full time. Maybe you'll just say that's the end of the game, but if you're going to use these words, you can stress them equally. Right? So, two vowels, both of them are strong as the other one. We know we know all of them now except for that L. Now, you don't see it here, but it's a different symbol sometimes. If you're notating things for yourself and you're getting used to English, you might have heard the word dark L. And dark L, the darkness comes from the fact that the L is in the back. Remember we said that K is in the back? And L, it's also back there in a way. So I don't see it written as dark L. Why? Because the dictionary doesn't usually like to put dark L. It's just too specific, too narrow for them in the transcription. So it looks like a regular L. What does a regular L look like? La la la, la la la. Right on the bump. Like we said, la 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 la. Full time. Some people do full time because the word full, right, often stands on its own, so they just carry that over. Dark L, regular L, whichever one you prefer. This is an interesting word. And we're halfway through, guys, so if you have any other questions, make sure you throw them in the chat box. If you're with me live, I'll just stop and I'll just explain whatever it is that's on your mind. And don't forget, we've got a whole series of these. So every Saturday for a while, I'm going to be celebrating World Cup. This year, it's 2026, and we're having it in Mexico in a World Cup, which is where I currently live. So I'm super excited. Number 6. Here's interesting, right? So we've got at the end of, let's say, a part of the game, you can add a little time, right? Because why? Because you had some, I don't know, penalties or things like like that. So it's got maybe just a couple of minutes there. That's called added time. Here I'm going to separate the words, right? Before I thought it was kind of confusing having it all together. So let's see what we've got here. In this case, all together, we've got 3 vowels. So, and how do I know that, by the way? I count the vowels, actually. That's how I know how many syllables. So I see 1 vowel. Whoops, let me go back. My mistake. So, and how do I know that the wrong way? I've got the that's 1, the that's 2, and then I say, oh yeah, they're 2 together, but we call that a diphthong because it's together as 1. So we say 3 vowels, right? What's new here? We got the we got the we got the I, we got the t, right? We got the m. Now the only thing new here is the d. So think about the relationship between a t, and a d. D. My articulation is exactly the same. Right on the bump, I'm exploding those words. D, d, d. You can feel it. Touch, pressure, let it go. Duh, duh, duh. What's the difference? I'm voicing right here. Duh, 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 duh. Added, 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 added time, added time, added time. Right. There we go. So, what's the difference between added time and extra time? Added time. Sorry, I should put it this way. Extra time is at the end of the game. At the very end of the game, then that's extra time. So the definition is slightly different. I know, it took me a while to get it. But let's look at the vocabulary pronunciation here. 3 syllables in this case too, because the first word has 2 syllables and the second one is time again, right? So we should be getting used to this word time, which is really important because it's one of those high frequency words. It's one of the words that we say probably every day, if not definitely every week. So knowing these things, these skills that I'm teaching you now, these are going to carry over into your daily life. And you're going to hear words, you're going to say, oh wait, I wonder if my tongue is in the front or my tongue is in the back. So it's not just about these words, guys. I want to build your skills with my methods so that you can learn to teach yourself as well. So let's look at what we have here that's new. First of all, we got 3 syllables, and in this case, look what we have. We have the stress mark is on the first one up here, and the others don't have those lower ones. So they're going to be no stress at all, right? So it's da 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 da. Extra time, extra time, extra time. I should say, actually, I should go back. My mistake, sorry. I should go back. So, I should say that this one, there we go. Time is, how should I put this? We talked about compound words before. This is the joy of being live. I have to think of things on the spot, especially when you guys ask. So, the compound words are, here's a word, let's put it together, it has a new meaning, right? We had credit, we had card, we put them together. Look, we've got this new plastic thing in the whatever it was, 50s. And now we've got this, it's a whole thing now, right? Same is applying here. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about a kind of time? Or are we talking about its own thing? Because that's going to affect how I stress everything, right? So it's a kind of time. No matter if I'm going to stress the word time or where I'm going to put the word in the hierarchy, the difference would sound like this. Extra time, extra time, versus extra time, extra time. What am I trying to highlight here? That's going to be up to me if I want to say it's a kind of time versus it's its own thing, right? In my case, for the World Cup, I'd probably say it's its own thing. It's at the end of there. So it's extra time, da da da, extra time. And so you're not going to see that written in the dictionary because you're going to have to decide for yourself which version are we talking about. This happens a lot with those compound nouns. Is it a noun and an adjective, or am I thinking of it as one whole noun? Right. So side note there, 3 syllables. Da da, I'm going to say da, time, in this case, because I've decided it's one thing. So, got a couple of new things here, right? Time, we're good at that. We got the K, we already know it. With the T, we're good. I see 2 new vowels. They look similar, maybe, but the first one is eh. I see two vowels. They look similar. My tongue is forward, my jaw is pretty open there. Which is very different from this one. And if you don't know this one, take a snapshot, because this kind of rotated E, you can even see it's in my logo. It's so important. It's the most important sound in English. It's schwa. It has a name. It has its own name. And it can be spelled with any vowel, and it can also be spelled with no vowel. So it's kind of tricky to find because we're just not always sure. And also we use it to reduce. But schwa, 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 this is your best friend. And the way that we articulate it is tongue in the middle and jaw just a bit open, but most importantly, relaxed lips. And the way that we articulate it is tongue in the middle. So it's and then just a bit open, extra, extra. So we've got our syllable stress, we've got our vowels now, I, in time, remember move the tongue forward, and now we've got a few, maybe A, maybe tricky consonants. B, it's a cluster. 4 consonants together. And here's a trick. Anytime you see the letter X, it's a combination of K and S. So, k, we said it's in the back. K. What's an S? Bring the tongue forward to the bump and create some friction. So, we said it's in the back. Anytime I see an X, it like box. It's going to be K and S together. Little tip there. No, I should say most of the time. Most of the time. So I've got my K and S covered. I know the T is also on the bump, but it's an explosion sound. No, I should say most of the time. X. So I've got my K and S covered. I know the T. X. Now what about that R? In English, if you don't know, we have 2 kinds of R's. This one is not a vocalic R. It's the kind of easier one called the regular R. So my regular R is what we call retroflex. So my tongue tip is just going to curl. Called the regular R. So my regular I hit the bump. Is what we call retroflex. So my tongue tip, curl the tongue. Hit the bump. Extra. Extra. Go nice and slow. Feel the tongue movements, nice and smooth. When you go smooth, you can go fast. Extra, extra time, extra time, extra time, extra time. Go as fast as you want once you have it. We've seen 2 of these. No, we've seen all 3 of these. We're good. You should be telling me how to do this by now. Go as fast as you want once you have it. We said a D is like a T, except it's voice. So, this is a regular R. I know that because it's after a consonant. So I go Then we've seen this vowel before. You might not remember it, but it's the one that's as in bought. So it's aw, aw. I know it's spelled with 2 letters, A-W, but no, it's draw, draw. Just 1 vowel sound there. Draw, draw. And of course it's got 1 syllables, so we're good to go. There we go. One that a lot of people say, but they've been saying it incorrectly because we have 2 kind of I sounds. We have what we said, short I, which we've already done, and then we also have long I, what most languages have, but that looks like this. E, E. And so what do people say? Wean. We're gonna wean. Look at me. Look at my lips. Relax those. Win. 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 So focus on that vowel because it's only 1 syllable. We don't have to worry about that stress or double primary stress like we saw. That's just crazy. So focus on that vowel because it's only 1 syllable. We've seen a nasal before today. Anyways, it's double primary stress like we saw. That's just crazy. Both of my lips came together and my air goes out my nose. We've seen a nasal before. Time, for example. This N is another nasal. And remember how I said a lot of our sounds are going on our ridge there, our bump? right behind our teeth. This one too. So stick your tongue up there, but then make the air go out your nose. Our sounds are going on our ridge there, our bump, right behind our teeth. This one too. So stick your tongue up there, but then make the air go out your nose. My tongue is down. In. Then the air goes out the nose. Win. I want to talk about this W for a second because it's also one of my favorites because it's what we call co-articulated, which means I have to do two things at the same time to make it happen. And in the side of consonants, then that doesn't usually happen. And what we call this is actually a semi-vowel. So W's and Y's are semi-vowels. They kind of behave like consonants sometimes, and they kind of behave like vowels sometimes. But the articulation, we need to keep two things in mind. One thing we mentioned with the ooh sound, that's rounded lips. And then the other thing is, we kind of mentioned as well, my tongue needs to go in the back for certain sounds. So stop and think about that for a second. Round your lips like ooh as in boot, and then pull your tongue back for certain sounds. So win. Stop and think about that for a second. Win. So your tongue is way back on that soft palate that we said, right? If I take my hands are clean. I have the bump, I have the hard palate, and if I keep going back, I can feel where it starts to get soft, right? So that soft palate's going to end in that little hangy ball that you have back there. That's called the uvula. So back there, that's where your tongue is going to go for a W. Don't forget to round those lips. Tongue forward for the I, tongue up for the N. Don't forget to round win. Win. It's going to sound perfect if you go nice and slow. Oh my gosh, we're already at the last one, and I haven't seen any questions so far, so either I'm doing a great job or nobody's here with me live, and that's okay too, because I'm just going to have a party by myself. So we've seen both of these. In fact, I think we've seen all of these. So we should be pretty good at this right now. We'll walk through it anyways, and then I'm going to add a little extra note I have about this word. It's L-O-S-S. This is the noun. And if we go back a quick second, back, come on, back, there we go. If we go to W-I-N, this could be the noun. We've got a win. And it could also be a verb. I want to win, right? And this one, there's a difference. This is the noun first we're going to talk about. L-O-S-S, right? We'll talk about the verb in a second. So, there's a difference. L-O-S-S. What is the point of that double S? These days, nothing. In the past, yes, it used to kind of indicate something and mean something, but not anymore. So I'm going to do one S sound. That S, remember, starting at the end here, is that S is against the bump. You know what? I'm doing it wrong. What am I doing? It's the SVC method. So number one, syllables. If it has one, I usually don't mention. If it has more than one, then we have to really talk about it. And let's do the vowels, actually. We saw this before. We saw an aw as in bought, and we saw an ahs and box, right? That's a thing. Very often in English, we have what we call a merger. Or I should do this, merger. It doesn't maybe mean what you think it might mean. It doesn't mean I smash them together and I create something new. What it means is that I have a choice. And in some places, people will choose this one. In some places, people will choose this one. And honestly, in about half of the places in the U.S. and Canada, they don't really care. And they're like, what? Which one did I say? I didn't even notice. Or Monday I'm going to say this one, and Tuesday I'm going to say this one. I'm really not registering it. So that's what our merger is. This one has a name. It's called the cot merger, or cot merger, however you want to say it. Or cot merger. Because why? I've got my aw as in bought. We already did that one. Aw as in bought. You know what I need is a throat lozenge. So, as in bought. Aw as in bought. Jaw mostly open. Aw, aw, aw. Tongue in the back. So, aw, aw, aw as in bought. And then if I open my jaw more, I'm going to get ah as in box. Ah. I could say loss, or I could say loss, whichever one you prefer. So now we can talk about those consonants that I was jumping ahead to. Our S is, I'm going to start at the end for a reason. Our S goes on the bump and it creates friction. You probably remember. Our S is, I'm going to start at the end for a reason. And the reason I'm pointing this out, think about the verb. Where are my glasses? And the reason I'm pointing this out, I'm very scratchy today, sorry. Where are my glasses? I lost them. Oh no, I should never lose my glasses. So a final S in English, forget about that silent E, a final S in English is very often voiced. Same thing, tongue on the bump, friction, add this. So a side note, a little trick that you can carry over into your daily life is that if you see a final S, most of the time it's going to be voiced. We're talking about nouns, we're talking about verbs, let's say the plural of mug is mugs, right? Even though I write it with the letter S, for example. And we talked about how there's two kinds of R's, and we talked about how there's two kinds of L's. This one's not a dark L because it's not at the end of the syllable, but it's at the beginning, so we call it a regular L. It's the one that's on the bump. La 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 la. So I start with my tongue on the bump, choose my vowel, tongue in the back either way, ah or ah, and then my tongue comes back to the front for that S. So it's loss or loss. And then my tongue comes back, whichever one you like. Listen to me. I'm having a rough time today, actually. So, and the reason I say that is because people will look at words, simple, basic words, and they'll say, wait, what? And I correct them, and they say, no, really? Like, I've been saying that this whole time, and then they've been saying it wrong, they feel like. So, this is a really good point. Somebody just wrote on the screen, oh my God, did you cover soccer? The word soccer, because we haven't talked about it yet. I'll put that on my list, actually. I will definitely talk about it. That's a good one. I'll answer that question now, in fact. Interesting, because look, we just had it. We went back. Do I say aw as in bought? Whoops. Do I say aw as in bought, saw, soccer, or do I say as in box, saw, soccer? You'll hear a bit of both. So, soccer. We've done the S, we've done the K, we've done that schwa sound, and then we've got that r that we've done. The only difference between that R and the other R is that this is what we call vocalic. So my tongue will lift, and the sides of my tongue are going to touch my molars. It's also called a molar bunched R. So, saw, back, passing through the schwa, soccer. And there's a few more words in this comment. So sorcerer, soccer, and sorcerer. Soccer, soar. Look at that, I've got my vocalic R again. Soar, and then back to my S, to my schwa, and then another So it's soar, sorcerer. So good one. Whoever put that in the comments, very nice. And I just wanted to say that, like, anytime something comes up, put it in the comments. That's the point of live interaction. And this is why we really value this in my community. And I started to notice that most people, their mistakes are not always from higher level words, let's say academic words, really specific words. Most of the time, most people, they're making mistakes on words they thought they learned years ago. And I hear this phrase all the time. They say, wait, what? Some of them they know, right? Some of the major ones, they're like, oh yeah, I know I'm doing it wrong, I just don't know what to do about it. But a lot of stuff is just words that they've been saying that's totally basic, right? And the reason that I put these on the list is because, or the reason I'm talking about them today is because, like we said earlier, the word time, I say that all the time. And that's like number 52. If I take all the words in English, and I rank them. Time is the number 52nd most important word. So we say it a lot, right? Isn't it worth a moment or two, 2 minutes maybe, to just fix that mistake or think about it and say, am I saying it correctly? Did I learn something wrong? Wouldn't it be great if you fixed that? Because then, if you think about high frequency words, the words you say the most often, and you fix those, well, you fixed most of your problems already, right? So I found a way to do it on your own. So think about the word match. During this time, if we're talking about World Cup or really any kind of soccer game or football game, this is number 2,455. Do I say this in daily life? No. But there are certain times when I say it a lot, and that's why I'm going over these words now. But what if all of your speech got better and it was super easy to do, and all you had to do was open your email? Because that's what I'm going to give you right now. Is if you want to sign up for this, it's right now it's at the lowest price it's ever going to be, because I'm still actually creating it. If you're watching this live right now in 2026 April, then look at these words. They're pretty common. Like we said, maybe not every day you're saying all these words, but for sure every week you're saying one of these. So go back and fix all of these, right? These are tricky words that people don't even realize often that they're saying wrong because they learned them, their brain thinks it's right, and then we have to undo that. That's called a fossilized error, and we want to get rid of fossilized errors, right? Things you might not even know that you're doing. And it's so much better to say like, oh yes, I know where my tongue should go. Oh, I used to say wean, but now I know the difference is win. And now I understand that I have to do two things at once, and oh, this is nasal. And overall, like we said, those skills will transfer and you'll just sound less nasal, all the time. So what I'm creating is pretty amazing, and it's a short 2-minute email every day, 2-3 minutes, and it's one word a day. It's a word a day. You're already going to open your email, so why not get a little, fix a little of those fossilized mistakes a little bit every day. And so it's a 1-year program. It's $365. We call it the Accent Training Bundle because it's not just the 365 most important words. It's also monologues that you're going to get every week and tongue twisters. Why is that? Because I want you to start working on these things on your own and apply the same things to new material too. And every month, all of these topics, they change. For example, if I'm giving you a monologue, I'm going to say, this is connected speech. This is what I want you to focus on. Or maybe the next one is, this is rhythm. I want you to focus on the rhythm. This is what I want you to pay attention to. So you'll slowly, incrementally get to be better and better every day. Just a little bit every day with a little bit of work. And of course, tongue twisters are everybody's favorite because we work all of that. Now, what I want to say is, guys, if this is something that would be very helpful for you, down in the description you're going to see the link, and if not, that's totally fine too. I'm going to be here every Saturday for the next little while, giving you extra match vocabulary, specifically for the World Cup, so you guys can be champions. So I'm super excited, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm like the MVP right now. I'm like, thank you guys for coming. And if you have any questions, let me know. You can also join my community. It's totally free, and you get to come to 2 events every month, and you get to see me in action and ask me questions and even meet me live. So hopefully I'll talk to you soon, guys. See you soon. Bye, everybody.